sports. It's in the game.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's been a long break. The last time since I did comms here in the InterTier, but here we are again for another day, another race here in Mexico. Hopefully, it's a spectacle. We do have a few debutants here, like Few the Beasts and Smith, Smil Lib. That's a kind of a difficult name to pronounce, but Smil Lib. Two new drivers on the grid. First, we had short quality to do. Anyways, we're back. And the first driver to go out on our first day back is going to be Link's Piece. It's 15 drivers showing up to the InterTier. That is a ton up that we're all excited to see. But the house driver is going to be the first driver to go out there on the track and lay down some rubber. He is a tier 1 driver, so you do expect his time to be a competitive one. And quality here, only if he makes a mistake or two. But Angry Badger, who's always quick to get out of the pits, is quick again here today. He will be the second on the grid to go out to set a time. Then we have the Alpine of Wilco, I believe that's Wilco. Then the only Red Bull on track of Hazer. Hazer, the driver with the most wins here in the InterTier this season. Can he get another here today? It's going to be a much tougher job today because we do have a bunch of tier 1s and lots of drivers on track. So it wouldn't be as easy as it usually is for him this time around. It's going to be... they're going to put up a fight to the other drivers, that's what I have to say. He has a few drivers following him behind. They're very close to Red Bull, Alpha, and McLaren. They feel the beast. One of the debutants today, and Late Bloomer, all very close together. Then we have the Ferrari of UFRL, Mr. P. Then last but not least, Mike VK. I don't know if he is today's his debut, but some of these drivers this might not even be their debut. They might have debuted last race, but we did not do comms, so I did not have a glimpse of them. So, but this is their first live stream debut in the InterTier, so we'll see how they do today. But we're going to head back to Lynx, who I believe was the first to set the time. And as he crosses the second sector line, he is on a 57.7. What is the Alfa Romeo behind doing? And Badger on I think it was on a 1. So it's definitely way down on Link's piece here, as he's going to cross the start finish line and is going to set a 1:17.5 to begin here in qualifying. And Badger is going to be next, the Alfa Romeo, and it's going to be a 1:18.1 for him, and the wheel call with a 1:19.7. And those are the first time. Back to the McLaren now, moving out the way because he has invalidated his lap. I think that might have caused problems for the Ferrari behind. Maybe not, it doesn't look like he's on the lap. Because with all that ERS in your car, surely not on a lap will hot lap off. As few the beats is going to be the next one. His Alfa Romeo teammate Angry Badger with a 1:18.1 already set. Already with a timer down. He is going to be the next Alfa Romeo to set the time crossing the line. It's a 1:17.9 for Mr. P, and surely he can improve on that time. A 1:22 for the Alfa Romeo and the Mercedes crossing the line. Just setting his first time, I believe. Mike, he was on a lap like the rest of them, but it looked like he might have invalidated one of them. That's a late bloomer. And his teammate Perez have not set times yet. But back to Link's P, who was the first to set the time and is currently sitting in P2 as Hazer now is taking provisional pole position with a 1:16.8. He is into the 1:16s now, and that's the time that all the other tier 1 drivers will be looking at to try and get a Beaver now on and out lap. I'm not sure if he will be starting his push lap on this one, because his qualifying strategy is usually quite different from the rest of the drivers. But here we go now as he crosses the line. Is he going to begin his lap here? His hot lap is still staying stable, so it just might be on a lap. The Ferrari though is on a lap this time around, and when he does cross the line, it's going to be from 1:17 to a 1:16, just 200ths of a second behind the man on provisional pole position. Very good time there for the Ferrari as Mike VK21 is going to go provisional position. And as you can see, that was a surprise to me because I've never seen him race before. And to see that he does have the pace of the other Tier 1 drivers is going to be a very, very interesting one here. As Prezi Perez and Le Bluma, both McLaren's 5 and 6, 117.5 and 117.9 respectively. And qualifying is already heating up. Hybrid on and out lap now will begin his own lap as Viva. He is not on a push lap yet. As we said, you'll see when he begins his own push lap. Red Bull just coming out of the twisty sector. And Hazer, who is provisional pole position, will be going for another push lap here. The 116.8, 2 tenths behind the man in the Mercedes of Mike VK. And what can Hazer? Does Hazer have a reply for that beautiful lap that the Mercedes has set? It's going to be Mercedes versus Red Bull today as Hazer is starting his next push lap. And can he improve by 2 tenths or more to get that provisional pole position back in his grasp as the Alpine will be coming into the pits, followed by the Mercedes, the 2 McLarens, and the Ferrari of Mr. P. We all be coming into the pits to set fresh tires for their next time around. I believe most drivers will be doing 2 push laps with 2 tires rather than doing 3 with 3 tires, but you want to save at least one for the race. Link's Peace on and out lap now, currently sitting in P4. The top 4 drivers all Tier 1 drivers, so you expect them to be where they are as the other Tier 1 drivers. As the drivers you'll be expecting to improve on their times, such as the likes of UFRL Merck. And we'll see where he does finish at the end of this qualifying session. A few drivers haven't set times yet, so they will not be marked up, as Viva is going to cross the line in P7, 118.1 for the Mercedes. Then it's going to be the AlphaTauri of Dog to start his own push lap. Then we go to the Red Bull of Hazer. When he does cross the line, he's going to take that provisional pole position right back with a stonker of a lap. That's a 116.1 from the Red Bull. And is that no competition now for the other drivers? Is that going to be that? Is that going to be the pole position for Hazer in that Red Bull? Stonker of a lap, 5 tenths ahead of the man who grabbed that pole position from him a few minutes ago. And with 9 minutes to go here in qualifying, the drivers still have a lot of time to set times to try and beat what Hazer has. But that is going to be a very, very difficult task. As you can see, moving out the way, moving off the racing line for the next driver that's going to be coming through. Now back to hybrid in the last sector, going to the quite tight covery area before you get to the bend, heading down the straight as he does cross the line, and it's going to be P9 up to the top 10 for hybrid with a 118.2 as the Alfa Romeo behind him. I believe that's Angry Badger should be just starting the lap. Oh, he did cross the line to actually get a 117.8. So he did improve on his time. And Doug with a 118 flat, and he's in his own championship with Viva. So they will be trying to beat each other in qualifying and in the race. And we'll see how that works out for them. We're going to head down to the Alfa Romeo or feel the beats as he's about to start a hot lap. And the 2 Mercedes Viva crossing the line first. Then Mike, the man who's looking like he can't compete to Hazer at the top, but with 5 tenths difference from the man who is currently sitting in provisional pole position, it's going to be very difficult for Mike here to grab that pole position. But let's see what he can do. He's going to have to pull off a very astonishing lap if he wants to improve by 5 tenths on his current lap. And we're just going to stick with him because as he has invalidated now, and surely he will have to go for another one if he does want to beat that time that eludes him from the position of pole. As we have the roster of drivers going into the pits, and the Red Bull will be beginning another push lap for the 116.1. He's still looking to improve on that time. He's still looking to make it very difficult for the rest of the drivers to go and beat our reigning champion and our championship leader, UFRL Mr. P, in P3, about to start his, I'm sure will be probably his final push lap. But I don't know the conditions in the race. I don't know if it's going to be wet because a lot of these drivers are using. They've already used 2 sets, maybe 3 sets of tires with 6, 7 minutes to go in qualifying. So there might be a twist in the race. That's just my guess. There might be a reason why those drivers are not trying to save tires for the race, as UFR Merckner has invalidated his time, and he is going to still go and push for another time to try and set one. But it did invalidate on that time around. Then it's the Alpine of Wilco to begin the lap, but now to the Red Bull of Hazer. Is he improving on the time he sits on? He's surely improving because he decides to stay out. Nope. Dives into the pits at the last moment as he wasn't going to improve on the time that he set, so it would have been pointless to go around once again. As UFR Mr. P about to start his push lap now. Can he improve by about 7/10 if he wants to get that provisional pole position? It's going to be a very, very difficult task, but a task that he's not going to look down from, as Wilco now setting the purple sector, probably his quickest sector going through there. As the Alfa Romeo, I feel the beat on his debut. He's going to go for a spin right at the start of the pit entry. Hopefully he does not block drivers coming through, as he's going to go through now, and the Mercedes is right behind him, but Mercedes was going into the pits, and the Aston Martin of UFRL also going into the pits. So no harm done there. As we're heading down now to the Alpine of Wilco, and when he does cross the line, will he improve on his time? No, he's not, and he's going to stay where he currently sits. The McLaren behind of Le Bloomer beginning a lap, followed by the Williams of Stickman, who's going to set his first lap of qualifying. Merck and Stickman, the only two drivers yet to set the time here in qualifying, as we head to the Ferrari of Mr. P, who has invalidated his time and will surely be going into the pits. There he goes. He did invalidate his time, so will not be able to improve. With 5 minutes to go here in qualifying, will any of them come out again for another lap? Or would they confirm our guesses that it just might be a wet race by coming out again with the third set of tires here in qualifying, as Dog now is going to cross the line to start another push lap? I'm going to head down to the Alfa Romeo or Feel the Beat, who makes another mistake, and that this time around is going to result in the loss of his front wing. Moving out the way now for the drivers on push laps, very close to the McLaren there. Looks like from that angle, it looked like he was close, but he was off track, so no harm done, as the Alpine who violated is going to go in. The McLaren of Le Bloomer crossing the line, doesn't improve on his time, stays in P7, and the Williams of Stickman does set a time, and that's going to be a 1:24, bumps himself up one position, with the McLaren teammate of Prez now finishing the second sector, but he looks like he's on an out lap, so he will be doing his final push lap on this run, as we have the AlphaTauri of Dog, who is he is on a push lap. So can he improve on the time that he sits on a P8 right ahead of his main rival UFRL F1 Viva? Can he improve that time here in qualifying to get even further away from the Mercedes as he comes out the final corner and crosses the line? And that's going to be a 1:17.7. He does improve by 3/10 and bumps himself up to P6. And that is the time that Viva will be looking at and be trying to beat when he gets out there once again. As we have Late Bloomer now pushing. Looks like he might be pushing. He might be on the lap, or he might be going in very low on that ERS. Just might have been a very, very strong. Might just be a very, very strong lap for him. We'll see. Is he going into the pit? Yeah, sounds like he's going into the pit, because that engine doesn't sound like an engine that is pushing hard to improve a time. And here we go, back to hybrid now. In that Williams, about to set a time, trying not to invalidate there as it comes out of the final corner. And this will surely be his last push lap of qualifying, followed by Mr. P in the Ferrari and the other Williams of, I believe that will be Stickman, who's looking to also improve on the time. He's the only set that he's on. He didn't go into to put on another set, so he's going to keep using that one as Prez now in P4 117. Oh, a very, very good place to be in for Prez competing with those tier 1 drivers. He is sometimes does race in tier 1 though, so he does have the pace to at least keep up with them. But does he have the consistency to finish the race, to join the race and the action right at the front? That is what we're looking for from Prez. Because it's one thing to do well in qualifying, but it's another thing to finish the race and compete. As we have Mike VK in that Mercedes, looking at Hazer's time, the only time that he has to beat if he wants to get that pole position. But it's a very, very difficult time, a very, very daunting task, as he's about to start his final push lap, followed by his teammate Viva, who is about to also start his final push lap. And this is going to be that. Most of the drivers now crossing the line to begin their final lap. Mike is going to be first, then it's going to be Viva in the other Mercedes, then it's going to be hybrid, and who's currently sitting in P5. Another good time for another tier 2 driver. And how is that going to help him in the race? Link's piece in the Haas is going to be after that. Then we have the Ferrari. I believe that's the Ferrari, as Dog has retired from the session now in the pits. And the Ferrari Perez also retired from the session, also here in the pits, as the Ferrari is also going to be one of the drivers going for final push lap. He does improve there in the first sector by 300ths of a second, and Merc on his only lap has to get it now, has to be spot on, make no mistakes, because if he does, he will be starting right at the back. But here we go now. Mike is going to be the first one to cross the line. And is he going to improve on his time? He's already up on his time. As you can see, Popple's second sector. And with one more sector to go, can he knock off the Red Bull of Hazer at the top? A very difficult task, but a task he's going for as he crosses the line. And he's not going to get that. Hazer is going to be your pole sitter. Viva is going to improve to P7. Then we're going to have Link's piece next to cross the line. He is going to get that third place with a 1:16.7, but Mr. P with a 1:16.2, the driver that was very, very close to the Red Bull at the top, but couldn't quite reach that pole position. Next is going to be Wilco to cross the line, P11 for him, and as Merc does his first and final lap, he's going to put himself in P3. Merc and Mr. P always close together, no matter what, as Hazer in the Red Bull invalidated his time, but he didn't need to set a time because he is going to start on pole position for the race here in Mexico. Another stonking lap, another brilliant time from the man, the myth, the legend, Hazer, who's also fighting has a championship fight in tier 1. And here he is again in the InterTier, showing up and standing right at the top here in qualifying. And that is going to be that. An interesting qualifying that was. But Hazer takes it and is going to take that extra point. And you know how it is, people. It's going to be a 5-minute break before we begin. So please do not ready up. Set your race strategy and wait. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He loves to follow you. You guys are always together. And there we go again. Mike and Mr. P starting P2 and P3 are going to be the first competitors for Hazer at the top. But Michael was looking good for the P2. Has dropped to P4, but still a good time from him. And we'll see how he handles the pressure racing in front. But we will be back in 5 minutes. All right, we're starting anytime soon now. Do not want to miss the start.
Reason I will go Atlanta is to go and see the boys. But the reason you don't like it?
All right, it's 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's foot to the floor and go, go, go. The wear held long, but Hazer now with a good start is going to keep his position right at the top. But Merck with a brilliant getaway in the second phase of that getaway is going to take the lead of the race. Going into turn one, Hazer defending it on the inside. Can he keep that lead from Merck, who's on those medium tires? So it's to be harder and more difficult for him to grip on the track and to make that move. But here we go now at the start of the race. Hazer and Merck are still going to go side by side going into zone 4. But Hazer is going to keep that lead with a very, very clean start from the rest of the grid as they get through this part of the track now, and all of them are keeping it clean. But here we go now. Hazer, the only driver to start on the softs, starting right at the top. Everybody else on the mediums down to P7. Viva, Dog, and Small, Labe, Smell, Labe all decide to start on the hard tires as Lynx has lost the place now to Mike and is dropped down to. But there's yellow flags at the back. Looks like somebody has made a mistake. It is Smell Labe on his debut and he's already lost his wing, and that's going to be a virtual safety car. I don't know what happened there. It looked like he might have made contact with another driver, but that is going to be not the best start at all for the Alpine driver here in the InterTier. But with the virtual safety car now out, he will need to go into the pits to make a pit stop. But before the virtual safety car does come in, let's check the race director. Wilco and Angry Badger came together. It looks like that might have been the reason why Smil did go for a spin and go into the wall. But they're all going to the pits. Wilco, Bloomer, and Angry Badger, Snail, and Bloomer all going into the pits. It looks like they all lost their wing in that kerfuffle. But Hazer now is going to lead with the soft tires. He's going to try and pull away from the rest of the drivers. So I'm going to head back to the front. I'm going to wait to see if we have any fights at the back. But for now, Red Bull leading the way. It looks like he's going to be comfortable for the first part of this race. But the medium tires will start to become better here. And a few drivers are on those hard tires, so surely the rain is not going to come, or maybe it's becoming late in the race. Because the cloud is grey, and it looks like it just might rain here today, but that is only a prediction. That is not correct weather forecast. As Mike now putting pressure on Dog. He did start higher on the grid, but he has dropped all the way down now to P9 and will need to make the places back. As you can see already a little bit squarely there. Dog on those hard tires. Mike needs to get a move on as his teammates in the Mercedes is right ahead of the AlphaTauri. And on the inside now, he is going to go for the move. Doug will be defending it with the ERS. Mike is just going to tuck right behind the AlphaTauri here and isn't going to go for that move. But Doug already defending with that ERS, and that might not be the best strategy here as he's on those hard tires, and holding back the Mercedes might not be the best call, using all that ERS that he might need to race Viva in front, as Link's piece now putting pressure on Mr. P and Merc, who are falling back from Hazer, and surely they will because Hazer is on those soft tires. There we go, Mike now still right behind Doug as Wilco and Feel the Beats will feel the beats going down the inside of Wilco in that hairpin there, and he's now taking P10, jumped into the top 10 position, who will not have the DRS to defend from him. But Mike doesn't need DRS, and down the inside he's going to go on the move on Doug. It looks like might have cut off Mike in front there, but they are still going to go at it. Mike not giving up here as he's stuck right behind the AlphaTauri of Doug and almost losing the back end there in the Mercedes, struggling to get past him. But with the DRS now, it's going to be an easy move as Mr. P gets ahead of Merc, and Mike is going to get ahead of Doug when they do get to turn 1. Or is the Doug defending on the inside? Mike going round the outside, and it's going to be a brilliant move from the Mercedes with the grip, with the traction. He's going to put himself right behind his teammates in PA. Doug might have given him a little tap there, but with that DRS, he's now going to pull away from that AlphaTauri driver who tried his best to defend from that Mercedes. But now he has been led by, and he's going to go at his teammate next. There we go. UFRL Merc in P3 has dropped down. Mr. P has taken the place from him, but oh, very close to losing it there. He does catch it. He's still going to be 8 tenths behind Mr. P. He's going to have that DRS. As you can see, they are slowly pulling in Hazer, but Hazer pulling out again. But that's going to be a very questionable one there. As Few the Beats, they lost 2 places going into the S. It looks like he might have made a mistake, but Mr. P now with the quicker slap. Few the Beats looking for a move around the outside, the Alpine there, but that is not going to work out for him. As Merc now 8 tenths right behind Mr. P, not close enough to make that move, and Link's also not close enough to make the move on Merc himself, as Hybrid now 9 tenths behind Prezi Press, and he's going to have that DRS that Prezi Press does not have at his advantage, now losing the back end though, and that is not going to support his chances of making a move on the driver in front. But with Late Bloomer down in P14, one of the drivers who had to go into the pits for fresh tires and a new wing change, is now going on the move on the other driver who went into the pits down the inside with that DRS, is going to get the move done on Angry Badger, who's trying to fight it around the outside. And there they go now, not making contact, as Late Bloomer is going to put himself in P13. They will be trying to help themselves pull forward and catch others on track, as Angry Badger now trying to feint down the inside, but it's going to hold it back. So there's no point squabbling and just losing time that they do not have in there. It looks like few drivers made contact there, but maybe not, as Link speaks now. We'll be going at it again on UFRL Merc. We wouldn't have that. He's not going to have that DRS, or does he? He does have the DRS on Mr. P in front, so he can use that to defend Link's piece, going at it, but not using a lot of his DRS, because he knows that with that DRS it's going to be very difficult for him, as Mike now will be getting back his teammates. Viva does not put in much of a fight, because with those hard tires there's just no point fighting it too hard, and all he has to do is stick behind his teammates and try and use him to pull himself forward and join the pack to catch up with Hybrid in P6. But these three are squabbling hard, and as you can see, they're slowly starting to pull Hazer in with those soft tires that are surely beginning to fall off. But what is the strategy for Hazer? It's going to be a 2-stop for the Red Bull, starting on the soft tires, as Angry Badger now is going to get ahead of Late Bloomer, climbing the curb aggressively there a little bit. But Late Bloomer now is going to try and fight it back, but with that DRS on the Alfa Romeo, it's not going to be a fight that's gonna be conducive for him. But here we go now. What links? 5 tenths behind Merck. Merck doesn't have the DRS on Mr. P in front. And there you go now. Lynx is gonna go for a move, but it looks like Merck might have grabbed that DRS at the last moment. No, he does not. And that's it. Lynx is gonna go for it now. And it's gonna be gaining on the Aston Martin. Trying to switch on the inside now. With the Aston Martin defending hard. Round the outside. He's gonna go for it. Lynx down the inside. The Aston Martin of Merck not giving this one up, but there's nothing he can do. With a very good driving there, Lynx puts himself in the podium position. Merck is gonna try and fight it back, dummying around the outside, but he has to stay right behind the Lynx Haas driver who just got by, and his next target is going to be the Ferrari of Mr. P. Then the Red Bull of Hazer on those soft tires. And there's a bunch of packs racing on track as we speak. Perez in P5, a little bit bored now, 2 seconds behind his hybrid and 4 seconds ahead is Lynx Pace and Merck, who looks like something might have happened there. Yellow flags. Doesn't look like any of them have lost their wing though. So it looks like Lynx Pace might have just had enough. And Merck went through, but now 2.3 seconds behind Mr. P, both of them. And this is going to be the opportunity for Mr. P to pull away from that battle that they are having behind. As Mike now almost always losing the back end coming out of that corner there. But it's going to be easy stuff on hybrid in front as he uses that DRS. And on the inside is going to make the move on the Williams driver. Is also low on DRS as he turns it to the left a little bit to give him a bump. And that is not what you want to see whatsoever. Stewards will surely be handling that. But it looked like the Williams turned a little bit to the right and gave him a bump. I'm not too sure. Or maybe he didn't see him. But if he didn't see him, then he's blind. Like Montoya said. As Hazer now is 1.2 seconds ahead of the Ferrari of Mr. P. And Lynx Peace has that DRS on Merck in front. Merck is doing a good job to keep Lynx behind, but how much can he do when he has that DRS down that long straight, the longest straight in Formula 1? It's going to be very difficult. Look, that might be longest one, might be one in Vegas, but it is surely one of the longest straights that we do have in Formula 1. But hybrid now, 9/10, losing time on Mike in front, and he's not going to get that DRS to be able to make that move on him. As you can see, he's pushing hard to get into that DRS, but nope, it's not gonna work now. As Viva now he's also trying his best to catch up to hybrid in front. And here we go now. Lynx Piece right behind Merck isn't going to go for the move, just holding it back, still using that DRS to keep close to Merck. And they are also trying to pull Mr. P in, but looks like he does have a lot of pace here in Mexico, so that's going to be very difficult. Finally has gotten into the DRS of the Red Bull in front. The Red Bull who started the race on pole position with the softs, pulled away a little bit, but in lap 9 now has been pulled back in. And what is going to be the strategy for Hazer? Is he going to go for that 2-stop or the 1-stop with the hards right now, or just going for the mediums later in the race? Maybe he just decided he wants to start on the softs to have the mediums for later in the race. But how is that going to work out for him, as he's very, very close to the line? They might have gotten a warning. I'm not too sure. But here we go now. He's going to have the DRS, Mr. P. And would this be his opportunity to finally take the lead of the race? Hazer with a lot of ERS to defend from Mr. P behind. Is he going to use a little bit to try and make sure that Ferrari doesn't have the opportunity to get close to him? It looks like he might just not, because the Ferrari is not close enough yet to make a move. But Lynx Piece behind, is he close enough yet to make a move? Also 6 tenths behind, so he will have to stick behind the Aston Martin as they go in for lap 10. 10 laps into this race now, and it is hitting up as Viva still trying to pull hybrid in, but he is doing a good job to make sure that Mercedes does not get to behind him, does not get into that DRS zone. But with the hard tires on that Mercedes, it is going to be a different strategy for him compared to the driver in front. But Dog now still 2 seconds behind Viva. Look at these two. Very, very similar in pace because a few laps ago, about 5 laps ago, when Mike was going at it against Viva, Dog was 2.2 seconds behind and is still around that time behind Viva. So very similar times between these two. It's going to be very difficult now for Dog to find that time as Prez, like I said, one of those drivers that you know he does have the pace, but does he have that experience? Does he have the goal to finish the race? He's always DNFing, and that is another DNF now for the McLaren driver of Prezi, and that's going to bring out a safety car. And this works perfectly for Hazer, who started on those soft tires and now can go on the hards and go straight to the end. Most drivers will be going on the hards. Merck decides it is going to be a soft tire run for him. That might have been a mistake, but we'll see if his strategy does work out. Links on those hard tires. Hybrid is going to take away that penalty, I believe. Yep, he is. And it's going to come out. Is he going to take away that penalty? Was it a 5-second penalty that he had? Let's see. When the pit sign leaves, let's see. Nope, he's not going to take it off. It wasn't a 5-second penalty. So, I was speeding into the pit lane, Wilco, and he's going to grab his own 5-second penalty. And Gibaja also going into the pit. Leib Bluma, surely, and Smil Leib will be going to the pit. These drivers surely will be happy that the safety car has come in now to bring them back to the pack. But Hazer still leads here with those hard tires, and it's definitely going to be a fight between those two at the top. Also with Lynx, it's going to be very difficult now for Merck to pull off this strategy, because he will have to come into the pit one more time. But we'll see how that works out for him. Now another safety car come out to save his race here. It's going to be a very, very difficult call. What can you do here? Can you do another soft run? Maybe he can do 2 soft runs, because he did start on the mediums. Maybe he does have 1 extra soft tires. So do let's say like a 12-lap run, maybe 11-lap run, because the safety car will be starting at about lap 13. So like an 11-lap run, get to lap 25. Then another 11-lap run to do down to lap 36 with 2 softs. We'll see how that works out. But Hazer still leads the way here. Safety car saving him from getting overtaken by the Ferrari. And he's going to keep that lead now, and it's going to be a straight fight to the end. The strategy works out for him, starting on the softs and making sure that they can't battle him for the start of the race. And as the safety car came out, he is still leading said race. We're waiting for the drivers at the back to catch up before the safety car does come in. That's Smil, Leib, and Leib Bluma. When they do join the pack, safety car will be coming in. Safety car might come in on this lap, but it depends. Would the Alpine be behind them when they do get, before they get to the 3rd sector line? Or the safety car have to do 1 more lap around the track? We'll see. As they are getting closer, safety car just heading now to the swirly bit, and surely they are going to get to the 3rd sector line before the McLaren and the Alpine do get behind them. So that might be 1 more safety car lap. So we'll most likely be starting on lap 14. Yep, safety car not coming in yet, so it's going to be lap 14 for sure. That's Hazer. Just leading the pack. Ugh, I'm hungry, man. I'm gonna need a bite after this race. God damn. I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. There we go. Safety car coming in. Oh my god, I have a headache. Hunger ache. Last meal I had was fuck, jeez. I can't even remember, man. Like 6 p.m. yesterday and it's 6 p.m. today, so that's 24 hours of no food, and I went to the gym, so I am parched and starving. But the drivers are gonna go now, and Hazer has begun. Mr. Pido very close to him, and with not very good momentum, the Ferrari is gonna go for the move. Merc also gonna go for more. They're gonna be 3 wide. Going into turn one, Hazer losing another place now, and it's going to drop down to P4. And Merck does take the lead with those soft tires. It's going to try and now pull away from the hard tire runners. As there's more squabbling at the back. A few drivers going off there. Yellow flags as few Beast and Stickman squabble at the back. And that's going to lose them a bit of time. The Alfa Romeo also trying to go at his teammate, but Phil down the inside on Stickman, trying to hold it around the outside, but he's going to take that place from the Williams driver, and the other Alfa Romeo trying to take that opportunity to attack that Williams as they are still side by side there. A little bit squarely there for Stickman, and that's going to be an opportunity for the other Alfa Romeo now to get ahead of him, and the two Alfa Romeos now attacking the Williams and getting ahead of him as he is dropped down now to P11 back to the front. As the fighter takes, Merck now is going to have to try and pull away from these drivers because he does have one more stop in this race. Oh, as Manchester United score late goal, Mason Mount makes it 1-0 right at the 96th minute of the game, and that's a safety car. And that's another safety car. Looks like he might have been bought out by Phil the Beast, as you can see, he has lost his wing. And that's now the opportunity for Merck to go into the pit and change the tires, the soft tire that he's on. Most of the drivers won't be going to the pit, so it's going to be a massive drop for Merck. Does he have new fresh mediums? The new fresh mediums right now will really come into play for him, because he will have to do about 16 laps, maybe more on them, and surely they should be able to go that long, especially the fact that they're already 15 laps in. Less fuel on the cars on the track has already been rubbered down, so tire wear won't be as much. Oh, but the safety car is just right there, so safety car has already picked up the leader. So will he go into the pits? Let's see what his decision will be. My decision will be going to the pits, because to stay out on the soft and to be hoping for another safety car after two, it's gonna be one of great luck. That's Manchester United. Oh, Brentford have equalized though. In the 99th minute, they have made it 1-1. What a game that is. And Manchester United bottle it right at the end. After taking the lead, have now lost that lead. And that surely is going to end up as a draw. As Merck decides not to go into the pits, decides it might just be better to stay out on the softs. If he did go into the pits, he will have dropped down to P9, which would be quite difficult to fight back all the way, especially having a lot of drivers in front of you. So it might be a good strategy, but we'll see how that works out for him. Still staying out on the soft tires. The four behind him, though, Perp down to Mike, will all surely be finishing on the hards. They won't be going in again, unless another safety car does come out. This guy should be coming into the pits on this lap. There's no reason why it shouldn't be. Maybe because of the driver who's just joining. But here we go. Safety car is in. But here we go now. The race has resumed again. And this time around, is Merck going to be a victim of the straight in Mexico? It looks like he did have a very good start. Lynx is going to go at it on Mr. P down the inside and is going to take that P2 from the Ferrari. But Ferrari is fighting around the outside. Can he make that stick? No. Slightly making contact with Lynx there, as Lynx now is going to keep that P2. Merck now using this opportunity to pull away from them. Mr. P is also trying to fight back on Lynx, but can't get that move done as Hazer has dropped down again to P6. Not very good to safety car restarts for Hazer, the last two. As there's yellow flags at the back. Hopefully, as two drivers have come off, is Smale Lab and Angry Badger against Smale on another incident. And it's not looking like a good day for the Alpine. But it looks like him and Angry Badger now have gone for a spin. Oh, as Hybrid now is going to be going on this for Mike, but that is going to make him lose places as he was trying to move on the Mercedes. He has now dropped down to in front of the other Mercedes of Viva. And the contact has been made between those two for the second time in this race, I believe. But here we go now. Hazer right behind Mike, and he is going to be going for it, trying to get the slipstream. Not enough to sling him through, but he's going to have to tuck right back behind as Dog now on Hybrid is going to make that move. Hybrid round the outside is not going to make it easy for Dog here, as Dog trying the switchback, but Hybrid keeping his place in P7. Hazer can't make that move on Mike in front, and Merck now trying to pull away from them on those hard tires right behind him. Mike does have that penalty now. Might have gotten a penalty from track limits, as his 3-second penalty now for Hybrid, and as he's stacking up the penalties, as Viva has gotten ahead of Dog here. Looks like Dog might have gotten compromised after trying to make the move on Hybrid in front, but Viva has now taken the place back ahead of Dog, and their fight continues between those two, as Hybrid now running a little bit wide there and surely getting another warning, as Hazer now is going to be right behind the Mercedes of Mike, and it's going to be a 4-way battle now for P2. But as we speak, Lynx is going to be leading the race when Merck decides to come into the pits, as DRS now is enabled. And Mr. P right behind Lynx P. He's not going to have the DRS yet because he is enabled, but it's not going to be used yet on this lap. Maybe only for the drivers who haven't crossed the line yet. As Viva right behind Hybrid. Hybrid low on that ERS, but he does have the DRS in front. How well enough can he keep Hazer close by? Because he looks like he used all his ERS and his straight line speed to try catch up to Hazer. But that might not be the best strategy here for Hybrid. Can he keep them close going through the twisty, turny sectors? And if he doesn't, it's not going to be good enough, because Viva is going to be right behind with a lot of ERS. And it's going to be an easy move for the Mercedes. But we'll see how it's going to roll. Back to the front now, as Mr. P is making a move round the outside of Lynx Piece, and he's going to put himself in P2. Mike is also going to go for it on Mr. P. They're going to be 3 wide going into the corner. Mr. P is going to keep that place in P2. Lynx and Mike still going at it. Lynx pushing Mike slightly wide. They make a little bit of contact, and they're going into lap 20 now, as Mike is going to cross the line, still 4 seconds ahead of them, using this opportunity now to pull away. But here we go now. Mike is going to attack Lynx in front, very low on that ERS. Lynx also have the ERS and the DRS to defend from it, as Hybrid now is going to be making the move on Hazer, and Viva is also going to take the opportunity to try and make the move on Hybrid. And are they going to be 3 wide? No, but Hazer round the outside of Hybrid is going to keep his place in P5. Good defending from him there, but Mike couldn't get ahead of Link's Peaks, and Link's could also not get ahead. But Hybrid now has retired from the session. A mistake from the Williams, and that is the safety car that Merck needed in front. And he will be going into the pit. And if the other drivers behind him decide to go into the pit, he will be leading this race. That decision to stay out on the soft just might be the decision after all. But that's another retirement for Hybrid. Some of these drivers, Hybrid and Prez, you did not expect a retirement from them. But when you do see that retirement, you're not surprised. It happens a lot between them. But he's out of the race now. I don't know what happened there. Might have been. Might have been contact with another driver, but we'll see how that goes. As Late Bloomer decided to stay out and it's gonna. Oh no, he's actually just behind the player. I thought he decided to stay out and was taking the lead. Who's going to be your leader now? Mr. P is going to be your leader. He decided to stay out on those hards. That might not have been the best option. Coming in for mediums might have just been a better option for Mr. P in front. But Fuel the Beast is going to stay out. Merc is coming in. Wilco staying out. Merc, Lynx, Hazer, Dog, Mike, Small Lake, Viva, Angry Badger, Late Bloomer, maybe even Stickman will all be coming into the pit. But Mr. P decides to stay out. And this might just be a strategy blunder from the Ferrari team. But we'll see how it works out for him when another safety car come out to save his bacon. Don't think any other driver on track will be DNFing. But it's hard to tell. It really is hard to tell. And now with about 15 laps to go, maybe 14, 13, when the safety car does come in, those medium tires will be the best tires to be on, and Merck does have that lead on them. Surely you have enough pace to get past Phil and Wilco quick enough before getting behind Mr. P. Mr. P's tires will start to run out though. We're gonna have to wait for the last driver, which is Stickman, to join the pack. Will he be able to join the pack before they get around again? It doesn't even matter. The safety car will just be coming into the pits, regardless of if he does or not. He hasn't come into the pits yet after the safety car did come in. So will he be coming in now? That's the question. Smil has come in for the softs. Will the softs be able to get to the end? Maybe. They will fall off right at the end though. But they surely would. They surely will be getting to the end. So Mr. P now in a very, very precarious position. The championship leader decided to stay out. Might not have been the best option. Maybe doesn't have tires. But he did start on the mediums and went on the hards. So he should have an extra medium. Or maybe softs. But decides not to use any of them. And decides to just stay out. The safety car wouldn't be coming into the pit on this lap. It looked like it should be on the next one. Because 3 drivers have yet to catch up to the pack. If Stickman can catch up before a few corners to go, maybe it's to come in. But it doesn't look like he will be able to. But that's going to be one more lap. They will be starting on lap 24. Let's see though. You never know. Yep, that's going to be one more lap. Going to have to wait for the Williams of Stickman. All right, safety car coming in. Mr. P is going to lead the way. And now, this is where it all matters. 13 laps to go. He does have two drivers that could help defend from the drivers behind. But here we go now. He is going to go, and he's not going to have any momentum problems. But count the Alfa Romeo using a lot of ERS. Actually go on an attack on him. He is going for the move. Mr. P is going to defend on the inside. Will feel the beats, able to handle it around the outside. He's going to go for it there. But nope, not good enough, as Lynx Priest and Merc are also squabbling at it. Merc on the inside. Lynx with a better line there is going to take that place in PT. There's more squabbles at the back as the Red Bull now is getting ahead of the AlphaTauri and going at it on the Alpine front, diving down the inside, going into turn 4. The Alpine moving a little bit, so that's going to compromise him. That's going to give the opportunity for Doug to also going to move the Mercedes coming very close together there. Well, as we head back to the front now, Mr. P is going to be trying to pull away from the drivers behind, but Lynx already ahead of Wilco, who I believe was another driver who decided to stay out. And Phil is his only protector, but Phil now under pressure from the Haas round the outside. Is he going to make the move? He slightly does. Almost push Lynx there, but Lynx with a beautiful ball, he does go into Merc. And that is going to be another safety car. 5-second penalty for Merc there. Looks like he made a mistake. And Merc ran right into him. Looks like that is going to has to be a wing change for the Aston Martin. Dog also going into the pits. And that is another mistake from Few to Beat. So multiple mistakes here. And one of them now is leading to the DNF and damage for another driver who has to drop to the back. Hazer looked like he was also involved in that little predicament there. And he's also dropped down to P11. And this might have been what Mr. P needs. We decided to stay out. And will he decide to go into the pits now and give Lynx that opportunity to grab the win? Or is he still going to stay out on his hard tires, 14 laps old already, and they will be absolutely be falling off at the end of the race? So he just might be going into the pits, the Ferrari, but we'll see his decision here. That's the 5th safety car now in this race, and it's becoming a joke at this point. Too many incidents. Not what you would expect. So many safety cars. So many safety cars. My God. I think Agribaja will be able to catch up to the pack on this lap as Mr. P decides to go into the pits for the softs. Hazer is going to get ahead of him. Merc also going to get ahead of him. Merc is waiting for the hards. Interesting call. He might not have had any other new tires, but he's going to go on the hards for the last 10 laps of this race. Let's see how that works for him. Maybe it was just too quick of a pit stop that he forgot to change to fresh mediums or fresh soft, but he did go on soft tires already in this race, so he might not have fresh soft, and he started on the mediums, so he might not have fresh mediums. Anki Badger will be joining the pack, and a safety car surely will be coming into the pits. And hopefully, this is the last safety car of the race. Hopefully. Safety car in this lap. 10 laps to go. Please let that be the last one. Pack has now been mixed up though, so it's going to be a very interesting race. Wilco, 10 laps on those hards is quickly going to fall back from Lynx in front, so that's going to be a very difficult one for him to keep. And it's going to be very difficult for you to keep those two Mercedes right behind him, who are going to be putting an absolute massive amount of pressure on him when the race does resume. But here we go now. Lynx is going to go. A very good start from him there. That's going to make sure that the Alpine behind does not make the move. And as we drop now, who is going to go for a move here? As we have Dog the closest. Might not be going for it. Who else? Hazer very close to Mr. P now, also holding it back. And as we have resumed the race now, Lynx in the perfect position to grab the win here. As Mike now is going to be making a move on Wilco down the inside. Wilco is going to try and defend, but not enough grip. Viva now is going to be the next Mercedes that's going to be going at that Alpine. Is Mercedes Alpine squabbling for that P2, as Hazer now has gotten ahead of Dog, but they are still going to fight. I'd say the parents' car of the Red Bull is going to get ahead of the AlphaTauri, and Dog and Hazer and Mr. P now are going to be trying to fight back to the front, as Wilco losing places now, and that's going to give the opportunity for multiple drivers to get past him. He's going to have to try to defend on Mr. P down the inside. Hopefully he does not make contact. Hazer made it round the outside with a brilliant move on Wilco. Dog now also going at it on the Alpine driver, but he's going to have to hold it back. Not close enough yet to make that move back to the front. Lynx Peaks leads the way, but just 4/10 ahead of Mike. Mike does have a lot of pace here in Mexico. He did start in P4, so he does have the pace to also fight for that lead. As Smil is going to be on the podium now. Can he hold on to that podium though is a question, but Viva going for it down the inside. Smil around the outside trying to hold it, but Viva is going to take the inside line going into this corner. And will he have the opportunity to go ahead of him? No, not yet, as he's defending properly as the Aston Martin of Merc down the inside is going to make that move on Viva, and Mr. P is also going to try and stick his nose in there, but he can't do that yet because Viva is going to defend it, but they're making contact, Viva and Mr. P. Hopefully not damage for the Ferrari there, as Hazer is going to get ahead of Late Bloomer now, and as they are switching places left, right and center, as Angry Badger is going to be the next driver to try and make a move on Wilco in front. But Mike now has taken the lead of this race, a race that he will be looking for the win, but Mr. P now with a 3-second penalty, and that is not what he will want for his own race here, as Merck now has moved back to P4 on those hard tires. Will those hard tires come into play here? Can he grab the win? But it's going to be a very difficult one now. He's going to have to pull the leaders in by about 5 seconds, as Mike now is doing a great job to put away for Lynx, but with that slipstream, he's using a lot of his ERS to try and pull away though, and with that slipstream, he's going to keep close, but Merck now is going to make the move on the Alpine of Smale, and is putting himself into P3 as Mr. Point, Viva and Hazer still squabble at the back. And will Hazer be going on the move on Viva in front? If he wants to get that top 3, he's going to have to get a move on as quickly as possible with 7 laps here to go. Lynx still behind Mike, taking his time, biding his time, and looking for the opportunity to take back that lead of the race. But Merck now, is he pulling them in? That is the question, and his tires already into that position where he can pull those drivers in. They are on 8-lap old mediums, and he's on 4-lap old hards. Most of those laps have been done under the safety car, though. You have to put that in mind. As Smell now keeping close to Merck in front, using that DRS to try and make the move down the inside of the Aston Martin, but there's nothing he can do. Aston Martin around the outside is going to keep that place. He's very, very low on that ERS now, and that means Mr. P behind is going to be putting pressure on the Alpine with fresher tires and with the DRS and the ERS support. Can he make the move on the Alpine? We'll also be trying to make the move on Merc, but he might not have enough ERS, might not have enough straight line speed to get that move done, but the Ferrari does. The Ferrari is going to be gaining on him. It's going to be switching to the outside, and Mr. P is going to take that place in P4, as Smil has to drop down now to P5, and as they are still squabbling in front, Lynx Pace has taken the lead back from the Mercedes, as Mr. P now 2 tenths behind Merc, and he's going to go for the move down the inside. No, he's going to have to hold it back, as Smil now coming in quick there, as Hayes has gotten ahead of Viva now, and his next target will be the Alpine or Smil. Mr. P does have that 3-second penalty, so Hazer will be finishing ahead of him if he does finish in less than 3 seconds behind. So that is his real target now will be Merc on that final podium position, as Smil has gone for a spin. Is that going to be a safety car? No, it looks like it's not going to be. Stewards decide that it's not going to be a safety car. There he is, the Alpine, off track though. Maybe that's why it's not a safety car. And that's the 4th DNF today. 2 of them are debutants, and they just couldn't finish the race here in Mexico, as Lynx P still leading the way, and Mr. P now is going to make that move on Merc in front. Merc does have those hard tires that will start to come into play very soon, but it just might be the last 2 laps of the race where he does have the better grip to be able to attack the drivers that will be getting past him now. Veza will be the next driver to try and get past the Aston Martin of UFRL Merc, who will not have the DRS here to defend from him. So Hazer will be going for the move as he's gaining on the Aston Martin, looking for it down the inside, but decides to pull out of the moves there, trying to pull Merc off his line, and with the switch back there, he is going to get the Aston Martin. Beautiful stuff. And on the inside now, down in the hairpin, he's going to put himself in P4. His next target now is going to be the Ferrari of Mr. P, as we head back to Mike and Lynx in front, still squabbling for the win here in this race, as Mike now very low on that ERS. Lynx is doing well to save up that ERS because he knows that he can use it right at the end of this race to either make the overtake or defend, depending on where he's going to be. But Hazer now right behind Mr. P with better tires. Those soft tires will start to fall off very soon, and with that, DRS is going to be going at it on the Ferrari. And here we go now, right behind the Ferrari now, who's trying to cut on the inside, trying to cut off the slipstream. But Hazer looks like he might not be going for it, but Merc is going to be gaining a lot on Hazer in front, and is going to take that place back in P4. Hazer will try to fight around the outside, but there's nothing he can do there. Absolutely very scary straight line speed from the Aston Martin there. But Hazer now fighting it back again, as they're going to squabble again, very low on that ERS. Hazer dominate down the inside, but this time around, Merc is not going to fall for that, and is going to keep his place in P4, as Mr. P now in that final podium position. He does have that 3-second penalty, so these two will be finishing ahead of him when they do finish this race. They do finish it just like that. But back to the front now, Mike and Lynx squabbling for this win. So P is pulling them in 3 seconds now. Can they get close enough to the 2 in front to actually struggle for that win with 4 laps to go? But here we go now, very, very low on that ERS Mike is. And if they cross the line on the next lap, if they get back to this part on the next lap and they are just 2 seconds ahead of Mr. P, it's very, very likely that they will be under pressure from the 3 drivers behind for the lead of this race, for the win here in the Mexican Grand Prix in the InterTier. But Mike is doing well to defend, using a lot of his ERS, and that's going to make it easy stuff for Lynx to dive down the inside, but he's going to have to pull it back. He wasn't close enough. Did he pull Mike off his line? That's the question though. He's going to have another opportunity at it. He's going to have another sector with DRS. And here we go now. He's going to be gaining on the Mercedes, switching to the outside, switching back to the inside. Dummy there from him as he sets up the Mercedes to go around the outside. It's going around the outside now. The Mercedes does well to defend from Lynx, but with a beautiful switch back, one that Hazer did on Merc a few laps ago. Lynx is going to take the lead of the race. They are still side by side, wheel to wheel they go as they head into the S's. Are they going to make contact? Slight bit of contact made there, but it's still clean between those two as Lynx is still going to take the lead of the race. Beautiful stuff there with the DRS now. Can Mike fight it back? And with all that squabbling, that gives the opportunity now for Mr. P and the rest of them to make it a 5-car battle for the race win here, as Lynx Peace now is going to be the leader of this pack. 5 drivers, 5 different teams trying to get the win here, as Lynx Peace now out of the final corner. Mike is definitely going to go on the attack, but with very, very low ERS, it's going to be very difficult for him now to make that move, and it's going to be very difficult for him to defend from the Ferrari behind, but it's gaining on the Haas, but not close enough. The Ferrari Hazer though has gotten ahead of Merc into P4, and his next target now is going to be Mr. P in front, but he's going to have that DRS to defend from Hazer though, as Mike now is going at it on Lynx Peace, trying it around the outside, and there he goes again. Is Lynx Peace going to hit him back with a switchback? Not this time around, and they're very, very close there. Wheel to wheel, they go around the outside in the hairpin, as Lynx they're making a little bit of contact with the red tires of Mike, and that almost gave an opportunity for Mr. P to attack Lynx there. But here we go now into the S's in lap 34. The penultimate lap of the race is about to begin, and it's hitting up right at the top. Mike and Lynx on the same tires, 13 laps on those mediums they've done. Hazer with the 9 laps on the mediums, the P 8 laps on the softs. The softs are surely will falling off right at the end, and that will give you opportunity for Hazer to have the grip, to have the opportunity to get ahead of him and Merc on those hard tires. The best tires out of everybody right now, but he's going to have 4 cars in front if he wants to grab that win, but just a few for the last podium position, as Hazer now will be going at it on Mr. P. They're all going at it at each other, as Lynx is going to take the lead. Mr. P is going to go down the inside there, and it's going to take that P2. Mike is going to try and fight it around the outside. Can he keep that place? Are they going to make a little bit of contact? No, they are not, as Mike has been compromised now. Hazer is going to take that P3, and Hazer is going to attack Mr. P in front, who is low on that ERS, who's going to defend it here, and Hazer not close enough yet. He's going to dummy around the inside, sticking to that inside line, but Mr. P not falling for it. The experience under the belt of our reigning champion, our championship leader, has put him in P2 now, and they're going to begin the last lap. At the end of this lap, Lynx Peace, still your race leader here, and all he has to do for one more lap is to keep ahead of that Ferrari. He's going to be under pressure from Hazer behind. All he has to do is keep ahead of the Ferrari to make sure that Hazer doesn't have the opportunity to get ahead of him, because Mr. P does have that 3-second penalty. Mike has fallen down now to P4, and would that mean that Merc will be the next driver to go on the attack on him? And here we go now. Hopefully none of them do make contact going into this corner, and here we go on the final lap of this race. Who is going to be your winner here? Lynx is going to use that ERS, but it might not be enough to defend. Mr. P is going to use the DRS. He's going to be gaining on Lynx on the inside. He's going to take that lead of the race, but the win here is between Hazer and Lynx, and Mr. Merc is going to get that place on Mike, and it's going to take the final position, podium position. But here we go now. Hazer is between Hazer and Lynx. Will Hazer be going on it at it on the Haas driver, who's using a lot of ERS to defend from the Red Bull behind, as Hazer is dumbing the move down the inside, doesn't fall for it. Lynx, a lot of experience from the tier 1 drivers here, and on the final lap of this race, it is hitting up. Hazer trying it down the inside on Lynx, and he's going to go for it, and he's going to take the lead of this race. Beautiful racing there from the Red Bull, starting right at the top, and on the final lap of this race, puts himself in the position to be your race winner here. Mr. P is going to lead them across the line when they do cross the line for sure, but Hazer, when he does cross the line, is going to be your winner here. Mike is also going at it on Merc, but not close enough, and that surely will be that. Mike trying it down the inside again, but that's not going to work out there for him, and surely that is going to be that. The Ferrari is going to cross the line to take the win, but with that 3-second penalty, it's going to be Hazer standing at the top step of the podium as he wins here in Mexico. Lynx Peace takes P2, and Merc is going to take the last podium position. Absolutely blistering stuff right at the top at the end of this race. Mr. P is going to, Mike's going to take P4, Mr. P is going to take P5. Viva Again, the best of the rest, finishing right ahead of Doug, his championship rival. Angry Badger in P8. Late Bloomer is going to finish in P9. Stickman finishing in the top 10. And Wilco is going to round the grid up to a very, very exciting race here in Mexico as Hazer, pole sitter, pole man, takes your win here. And who got the fastest lap? That's the question. Fastest lap is going to be taken by UFRL Merc. And that is that. Who does the game decide the driver of the day is going to be? It's going to be Hazer. For sure it's going to be Hazer. What a drive from him. Calculated drive. Absolutely calculated moves from the driver who's gaining experience every race that he does here in the InterTier and in the UFRL. As he stands at the top step of the podium, as he celebrates, his team rejoice, because we all know that his champagne is going to taste the best at the Red Bull camp. Hazer wins here in Mexico. There you go. Oh, race director. Oh, let's do that. Incidents. Yes. And that's your grid. Whew. What a race that was. What a race that was. My first day back in comms. It was a good race. Mexico on P. Yep, Mr. Mexico. Looks like this is one of your best tracks. Almost getting pole position too, just about a 10 behind Hazer. Hazer grabs that win just because of that 3-second penalty. If you're lucky, maybe you can appeal, but probably not. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we have been UFRL, and I have been Willie Fernandez. I'm going to do a raid with just a little bit that we have. We just had eight viewers, but 4 have left. Can we raid here? Is anybody playing F1? Say this guy. Alright, people. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you later. And goodbye.